How to convert 5,000 all the way to 1 million. Yeah, that sounds like, really? Yes, it is possible. Perhaps you have your 5,000 somewhere and you're like, okay, I would like to one day achieve this million mark. If, say, achieving the million mark means almost everything to you, then this is that video that you need to watch it up to the end. And by the way, this is more practical than it is theoretical. Remember, this is Good Joseph, and what I do, I talk about money, investment, savings, anything related to that. That's why you need to keep this YouTube channel subscribed so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. And I have my good board here. I'm gonna take you step by step on how you achieve that. So the target is, here you are, you have your 5,000. It can be dollars, can be beer, can be naira, can be CD, can be whatever the money it is. Okay, the more important thing is the the practical part of it. Now, so you want to move this figure all the way. My pen is actually refusing to work with me. You want to move this figure all the way to 1 million. Okay, sounds like a big milestone. Indeed, it's a big one. But if you have your solver formula, you can be able to achieve that. Now, see, I'm gonna give you, and guess what? At the end of the time, it should be stress free. It should be stress free. Don't forget that. Now, there are two ways here I can actually give you on how you can achieve this target. Okay, and let's be practical. One is the faster method, and two, we have the slower method. And there's something that you should know whenever it comes to the faster method. Faster method, a lot of your involvement is needed, meaning you must be there actively. You must be there actively. Second, it is stressful. Therefore, it means I may not talk about that because this topic is about stress-free. The second slower method is actually what? You are less involved. Guess what? Less to no stress. Less to no stress. And that is what we're going to talk about. Now, here you have yourself 5,000. You want to move it all the way to a figure of 1 million. Are we together? Let's work with the slower method, but sure. Are we together? But at the end of this video, I'm going to touch a little bit about the faster method. So either way, you're not missing anything. Now, when we talk about stress-free and it's a slower method, we simply means you investing the cash, not business. Business, you'll be involved. If you start a cereal shop, you have to be involved. You have to be, for here, we are not talking about you being involved, stress-free. You are outside that investment. Now, if you decide to invest, there are conditions that you must meet here. Condition number one, that investment must give you an interest of approximately 11%. Are we together? Number two, that investment, of course, it must be what? Reliable. Are we together? Must be reliable. And number three, the most important part, you must be patient. You must be patient, meaning you must have the ability to wait. Are we together? Now, let's say you are earning some cash and you have this 1,500. Now, by the way, the fourth qualification that you must have is that you must have that 5,000 monthly. You must have 5,000 monthly to spare for the sake of this investment. Four options you must meet. Reliability of the investment you're picking must give you at least 11%, of which you have variety of them, and you must be patient. And number four, you must have a what? A 5,000 monthly. Now, let's get practical. How do you do that? Simple. Pick an investment, and for this matter, I'm gonna give you two. Pick an investment. First of all, you don't qualify for treasury bills, you don't qualify for treasury bonds, you probably even don't qualify for some of the investments, okay? But there's some investments that you qualify. Which are these? One, you qualify for an investment called FIF, that is fixed investment fund. Two, and by the way, the investment that you are picking, it should give you a compound interest, which is the most amazing thing in this, and I'm going to show you how you do that, okay? And number two, the investment that you can also pick is an MMF, and I know you saw that coming. Yeah, people now are calling me MMF guy. Sure, no problem. When I meet you physically, that's what you guys call me. But anyway, it is what it is, okay? Now, see, these are two investments that you can actually pick that will give you both compound interest. They have the conveniency. They're like the accumulation basket that you can pick any and keep on pumping in the cash. Now, ultimately, you can be able to do that. Now, what do? You open an NFIF account, you throw in your 5K that you're starting with, and then each and every month you be throwing in your 5K, you be throwing in your 5K. Are we together? Once you throw in your 5K continuously in that investment, that money is earning you interest. And when that money is earning you interest, guess what happens now? That interest that has been earned by your money Of course, you're not getting it. You're not using it. This is that money that you're just throwing it. For example, what happens is that you can actually use this money for the purposes of sinking fund. Let's say you're about to go ahead and subscribe for an education policy, or you're about to subscribe for, say, an endowment, or whichever the policy that you're about to take, maybe for the sake of your kids. And maybe you're watching this video and you're about to have a kid, or you just barely gotten a kid, and you want to make sure that that kid one day gonna have a quite of a decent life in terms of education and what have you. Are we together? Now, this is what you do it. It will take you approximately a period of 10 years or less to do that. I know I've already lost some of you. I thought you were going to talk about a year or 6 months to do that. Come on. If you hear somebody telling you how to convert 5,000 to a million in 1 month, probably you're about to be scammed, because in most cases that is not realistic. I'm not saying it cannot be achievable. It can, but probability of you achieving that are way low. And then you assuming that you'll achieve it, you're assuming that you're very lucky. I said one quality that you must have is what? Patience. You must be patient. Okay, now see, it will take you 10 or less period of that. Just imagine this, throwing in 5,000 continuously in an investment which is giving you an average of 11% per annum, not even per month. Okay, give you an average interest of that. You throw in your 5,000 continuously in a period of 10 years or less, or slightly less, you're gonna have yourself a million. And the question you should ask yourself is this: say if you have a kid right now, if you have a kid, let's say the kid is 1 year. Okay, the kid is 1 year, so that kid is gonna be 11 years. I mean, in Kenyan education system, this kid is probably on grade 4. Grade 4, you barely need a lot of cash to actually educate this kid, isn't it? Kid who is around grade 4, 5, 6, around there. Let's even say the kid is around grade 6. You know, I'm not so good with these grade things and kids and what have you. See, now, let's say kid is around 6, the grade 6 and what have you. I mean, that particular age and period of time, you really need a lot of money to actually take care of your kids, isn't it? So therefore, you achieving this target in that period of time will be the greatest thing you can ever do to yourself. You can even decide that money, you should not even use it to your kid. You can even use it to yourself. And this is what I always tell people. Hey, people be like, oh my goodness, that is too long. Why should I wait all that period of time? Listen, one thing. The whole point is not even you waiting for 10 years. This is the trick. If you didn't get out of this video. Now, this is the trick. The moment you are investing, you don't have to wait for 10 years. You don't have to wait for 10 years. This is how you do it. You can take, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Are we together? Now, what happens is that you can do your year 1. Continuously, you're doing your 5K. 5K times 12, you have yourself 60K. Are we together? The second year, of course, this 60 plus the interest. First of all, assume there is no interest. Another 60K is coming in. You already have yourself 120K, but the second year is coming in. Listen, before you clock all the way the 10th year, opportunities can arise in between. Are we together? And when you have the purchasing power by your side, when that opportunity arises, you can actually grab it and walk away with it. For example, you are saving this, you ultimately want to achieve this particular amount of money by virtue of you investing. But along the way, in saying that the third year, maybe probably the third year you have yourself another 60K, you're probably talking about 180K. You can actually realize that there's certain parcel of land is subdivided, and that parcel of land does not even go for expensive. There's some places people even used to buy a parcel of land for 100K, 200K, and what have you. You can buy that, then you resell it. You can actually buy that with an idea of converting it in selling it, not with an idea of keeping it, of selling it in future. Or in the process, you have your cash, an opportunity comes on, and then you realize there is a certain product that you can actually import or buy and resell, and you can make some cash. Now we're together. In that process, when you have the money, you tend to have more opportunities. But opportunity can come and you do not have the money. So when I say invest your cash, put it somewhere, put it in a high yield account. I'm not necessarily telling you that you have to put, by the way, you see what I've assumed? I've assumed that the next 10 years, you're going to be earning the same amount of money. You're going to be saving 5,000. Who knows? After the third year, you have been promoted. If you're working somewhere, if you're employed, you're earning more. So probably your view saving more are higher. And by the time you get that increment, that promotion, you already have yourself a character. Because back then you are saving 5,000. Now it has been increased. You can even save double of that. Now you'll have a character and more money. So you can be able to see. All what I'm doing is an assumption that the 10th year, you're going to be earning the same amount of money, you're going to be having the same lifestyle, and you're going to be saving the same thing, or rather in the same amount of money. No, you think can change along the way. Are we together? And what happens, you can even embark on these savings and you realize that, hey, guess what? The moment you clock your 100,000, you tend to be like, oh, wow, I never even thought that this money can actually take me this too far. Then you have the motivation and the zeal. You keep on doing that. Now, let's go back to our topic. You take your 5,000, pick an investment such as an FIF, that is fixed investment fund. You throw in your money there because FIF tend to have a higher interest rate compared to a money market fund. Why? Because of the nature of where they usually invest. That we're going to talk about it later. And now what happens is throw in your money here. And once you throw in your money here, keep on throwing your 5K continuously monthly. Whatever you are getting as an interest, don't eat it, don't withdraw it, don't do nothing. Let it be. You throw in there, you throw in there, you throw in there, okay? And then in a period of this, then you're going to have your million at the end of the time. Now, that is the slower method of achieving this particular thing. Are we together? Now, remember I told you I'm going to share a little bit about the faster method. The faster method, still you're going to start with the slower method of savings. Let's say you want to start a business, but you don't have the cash to do that. What you can do, you can actually divide this money into two phases. You can divide the first 3 months, or rather 3 years. You save your 5K, 5K, 5K. This is going to make you 60,000. And of course, 10% of this approximately, that's like 60,000, that's like 6,000 ish there, another 6,000 ish here, another 6,000 ish here. But this one can actually be 7,000, and this one can actually be what? 9,000, because it is compounding. So if you add this plus this is like 13, you have like 22,000, and then you have yourself 120. Let's say you're talking about 200,000 approximately by the third year. Now you change the formula. It has started with slower phase. You save your 200,000, and then once you save your 200,000, now you shift from investment to a business. Are we together? You shift from investment to a business. Now the question should be, which business? You don't ask yourself which business here. You ask yourself which business when you're here. That means the next 3 years, you're working on finding out which business, how can I start it, who are the distributors, who are the suppliers, what are the pricing, who are my competitors, the location, my target customers, and what am I good at, what am I not good at, and what have you. By the time the money is coming in, the business plan is ready. Does not mean necessarily a written business plan. It means that you already have your cash organized, or rather you have your, what do you call, the plan organized. So the money comes in on your 4th year, you actually launch a business. Let's say you've done all your research and you've realized that you're gonna do, say, something like a production, or maybe let's say you've decided you're gonna do some baby clothing or beauty business or whatever. Then you kickstart the business. Then you give yourself another 3 years. The 4th year, the 5th year, and the 6th year. Guess what happens now? The money that you had, this money had multiplied at a slower rate. Of course, this one will propel the money at a faster rate. And the very first primary target you do when you get into a business, there are two. One, make sure that the business is stable and capable of service itself. And number two is to break even, meaning is to get back the money that you had invested. So you get the money and you still have the business. Guess what happens now? The 4th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, another 3 years, guess what you do? Once you recoup the money that you're actually working on recouping, you throw it in an investment. Are we together? You throw it in an investment as you wait for the 7th year, 8th year, and 9th year. So what do? The moment you open a business, whatever the returns that you're getting here, you throwing in into an investment, you throwing in into an investment for the next 3 years. That money that you're saving has already given birth to other money, and you're waiting for the 7th year where you're gonna do what we call, either you leverage on the business that you have, or you maintain the business and then you focus. By the time you're clocking this period of time, you already have yourself a million that we were talking about. So you subdivide that in 3 phases that can help you to go ahead and do what? Move to the next level. So I've given you a combination of 2, how to make that money at a slower rate and a faster rate, and how to do so in combination of the 2 to help you propagate that particular thing. And that is exactly how you move from 5,000 all the way to a million. Well, it is easier said than done. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. If it was easier done than said, then everyone will be having a million in their pocket. So go ahead and do something about it. This is Good Joseph as always. Subscribe and leave a comment on the comment section. See ya.